Can anyone go out of body? Is the question that's been asked. Well, let's start with this. Everyone, every night, let me say that one more time. Everyone, every night goes out of body. The part that's not so common is being able to shift from this out-of-body state back into the physical matter reality, maintaining the full conscious awareness of the fact. What's even less common is being able to shift consciously from this physical matter reality out into these wider realities. But the question is, can anyone do this? Yep. This is inbuilt. This is inbuilt into every conscious individual. Every conscious individual has the ability to explore their own consciousness. And literally nothing, y'all have heard me say this before, literally nothing is trying to stop you from doing this. You may be standing in your own way, but nothing else is trying to stop you from doing this. If you're standing in your own way now, there may be reflections out here, people that seem to be, trying to stop you from doing it. But really, these are just reflections. It's your own state of mind, what it is that you are doing yourself that gets reflected back to you in your visual realities. So again, yes, you can do it, and nothing's trying to stop you from doing it. Asking this question, can anybody go out of body, is a bit like asking, can anybody lose weight? Yep, anybody can. But in order to do it, you're probably going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to do something different than what you're doing right now, because what you're doing right now isn't working. It's not resulting in your weight loss or your conscious OBEs or whatever else you happen to be interested in. So it's a matter of whether or not you're willing to make the changes. Whether or not you're willing to go to work and do what needs to be done in order to have the experience. Now with the inbuilt thing, I'm talking to somebody in particular, but also to everyone, but to the person who actually asked me this question. In regard to the inbuilt thing, I did start off in this life with a couple advantages with my parents and the way that I was brought up. I got real lucky, with my dad, who, he didn't let us watch TV. He didn't let us have much money or, hang out at the mall and do that kind of stuff. My upbringing was about gaining an education. It was seriously disciplined. He was also a health food nut, so I was fed real well, no junk food at all. In fact, not even a lot of foods that other people would consider healthy. We weren't, for instance, allowed to eat carbohydrates. No bread, pasta, rice, any of that starchy carbohydrate, which is probably why I got into it so much when I left home. But anyway, was raised real healthy, never had to go to the doctors, weren't given antibiotics and a lot of those types of things that people are now. And so all of this, served to be to my advantage, because these are all very serious, hardcore things that really, really ground you strongly, heavily in the physical matter reality. Dad was also agnostic, and so there was no going to church. So I didn't have a lot of the belief systems that can often, get in the way and hold you back. basically because you may have been taught that these things are evil, or something along that line. So yeah, those of you who did not have this, who have much more in the way, so to speak, we'll have to start diving into it. The first thing anybody who wants to go out of body can do is stop watching TV. Stop. Turn it off. Put it in the garage. Sell it on eBay. You're attempting to do something that's going to totally take the place. Who needs to watch TV when you can literally shift your consciousness into a whole nother physical matter reality system? Or I call them physical matter reality systems because any reality that you happen to be in is tangible, like this physical matter reality. Only, they will have different rule sets. The rule set here is pretty rigid. The rule sets in other places aren't so rigid. So there's other physical matter realities where it's, everybody, shifts into other reality systems. That's not something that they're not able to do. There's rule sets where on their worlds and their reality, they can levitate. That's not against the rule set. They can walk through walls. That's not against the rule set. Like here it is. So again, here the rule set's pretty rigid. But what needs to be done is you need to figure out what the work is that needs to be done. You need to find out what changes you need to make and then make the changes. And people like me who do go out of body, and others, there's lots of us now. It seems like there's so many right now. I'm coming across more and more. They'll be able to help you. Simply go there and ask questions. I have this page here on YouTube. I have the talk board. Everyone, get your little heinies over to the talk board. If you want to talk to me, that's the place to talk to me. I will answer your questions. I will help you get out of body. I'd love to see everybody going out of body. But you're going to have to dive into particular areas in your life. And again, find out what you're doing that's getting in your own way. Make the changes. This is part of what I'm going to be talking about with people who want to do the live sessions with me, who want me to help them get out of body and sort of see for them where they're doing things that are preventing them from it, essentially. But again, there's a chalkboard, and we can just chat there almost any time right now. One thing that you do need to know about going out of body is that your physical mind-body system, and I'm going to focus here on the body system, needs to be prepared, because when your consciousness goes out into these wider realities, a lot more energy, a lot more light and information is going to be coming in to your field, into your physical mind-body system, and it needs to be prepared to hold this extra energy, this extra light, this extra information. It needs to be able to run it so that it can flow smoothly through the system, because if the extra energy doesn't have an avenue to flow freely and express itself through, then the physical system will begin to fail. And quite simply, if the mind-body system is not prepared for conscious experiences, your inner team, as I like to call them, will not let the conscious experiences take place. They will not let something happen that would cause you to lose the body. And any opportunity to do what it is that you came into this physical matter reality to do. There's many ways, to begin preparing meditation, any sort of spiritual practice that helps you focus your attention. I teach to talk, which is conscious gazing, candle gazing, and gazing at light sources. This practice actually culminates in sun gazing, but that's a final culmination and not a place to start. There's breathing practices that you can do. I teach many. They're on the main web page. I have audio where I'm guiding you through the practices. Again, go to the talkboard, go to the main web page. It's all there. Yoga, Tai Chi, many of the martial arts, even just getting outside and walking. Walking barefoot, even better. What else? It's almost endless what you could be doing to be preparing yourself. You have to look at your diet, your food and water intake. Are you dehydrated? If you're dehydrated, start hydrating yourself. I have to drink over a gallon of clean water a day. Otherwise, I'm dehydrated. And that's a lot. That's a lot more than what it used to be. But that's this extra energy running in. And so you have to stay hydrated. Super important. Your mental faculties will be squat if you're dehydrated. You can't even hope to bring back the conscious awareness of your OBEs if you're dehydrated. Not on any sort of regular ongoing basis anyway. Maybe a hit and miss, some out of the blue experience that happens, and those can happen for anyone. But basically what I'm talking about here are conscious experiences that you can have as you want. Just that. Conscious experiences that you can have anytime you want on an ongoing, regular basis. Anybody can begin a dream journal, and this is one of the very first steps. So have a journal, have a pen, and every morning before you get up, write down anything you can remember from the night. If you get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, or just because you happen to wake up, again, bring the recall of what was just happening in the other reality systems back through to you here in this one, and write down anything that you can remember. If you can't actually bring through any sort of scenarios, feel what you're feeling. Do you feel calm? Do you feel agitated, cold, hot? Write down anything at all, and just begin. Do not let a day go by where this does not happen. Don't let a morning go by where you're like, I can't bring anything forward, because as much effort as you put into preparing yourself is going to be how likely, this begins happening for you. So put in all your effort. Put in all of your attention. Give it your all. Practice every day. One of the first things I begin asking people, who ask me about going out of body, they can't go out of body, they say. And I said, well, do you practice for it? And they tell me no. Well, it's something that you actually have to do, So there's 3 times a day that are ideal for me. And that's early in the morning, mid-afternoon, and again at night, And so, you actually have to sit down or lay down. Most people will prefer to lay down. Quietly, I put a mindfold mask on so that it's nice and dark, and I can go in more easily, because I'm in a household where there's other things going on. and sit there or lay there for 30, 60, 90 minutes. Mine are usually 90 minutes or more because that's the amount of time that I need. But it could be any length of time. Just do something to begin practicing having it. And again, pay attention to any sensations you feel. Pay attention to anything you see behind your closed eyes. Pay attention to anything you hear. Way before I even knew I was having a conscious out-of-body experiences, I was noticing the shifts in my room. I would, for instance, hear some things in the room that I knew should be there, but other things that I knew should be there weren't there. But I didn't realize that I was obeying. I had never even heard of the term. I just sort of bring it up to friends every now and again, and you're probably just imagining things, the same old. But the shifts do happen. It's whether or not your consciousness is fine-tuned enough to catch the fact. And so sit down and lay down and pay attention for a period of time. Do the practice. There is just so much else. There's so much we couldn't possibly say it all at once. But there's just so many avenues to dive into. And again, I put these all onto the board. Scoot on over there, start a thread, we'll start a talk, we'll dive into your situation and start to do what we need to do to help you get out, if you want to get out. If you don't want to be locked in on this one channel alone anymore. There are a lot more channels. And they are phenomenal. Phenomenal. Again, some things really, really strongly key you into the physical reality. And the media and advertisements and newspaper and foods, certain foods like meats and coffees, caffeinated drinks and, things that are real popular here. Fast food, things like this are going to key you pretty strongly into this physical matter reality. So to open yourself out into the idea of more realities, you're going to have to find more keys. You're going to have to find the keys, the frequencies that will align you with those other realities. Is it possible to go out of body without doing anything? No. Not if you're not going out of body right now. If a person looked at you and told you they wanted to lose some weight, but they didn't want to do anything differently than what they were doing right now, what would you know about them? So, yeah, you're going to have to make some changes. Now, practices like yoga, Tai Chi, many of the martial arts, things like this will begin to help to prepare the body to run energy in a cleaner, more efficient way than it does right now. It will begin to remove blockages, tightnesses, tensions in the body that would restrict the energy from flowing. The yogis had it down. There's 4 paths in yoga. And I'm going to go straight into the 4th, which is karma yoga, which is service work. Like Mother Teresa would have been considered a karma yogi. Doing things to help other people. This is a really big way that you can also work to prepare as well. Even if it's mental from the start, even if it's not purely visceral or instinctual that you start doing anything like this, you can just find ways to help people. And once you do, a sort of rewiring in the system begins to happen. There begins to be an alteration in your consciousness, an evolution in your consciousness that actually changes you as a person, as a conscious individual. And this is a nice avenue to explore, because we can all do this. And we all, I think, anybody gathering in here to watch any of my videos anyway, is probably pretty aware that this has a lot to do with the shift taking place on our planet. We're moving out of unsustainable ideas and ways of behaving and into sustainable ideas and ways of behaving, and part of that is moving away from a dog eat dog, every man for himself sort of mindset, and helping each other, and in so doing coming into these larger sustainable groups where much more can happen than what's happened on the planet thus far. And these are ways to shift right here from the physical matter reality into wider realities that are sometimes not seen as clearly as when you consciously go out of body this other way, like when you sit down and meditate, or when you lay down and do a conscious practice that way. But the shift is still happening, and you'll see the changes in the reality. And again, as you do this will help in doing the conscious OBEs the other way, through meditation.